And we are back, baby! What's happening?
I'm back. Did I go somewhere?
Yeah, I've been here.
I've been around.
No,
I totally forgot, guys. I was
you
not
don't
here.
Chuck,
I was not
Chuck
here and I messed up.
Chuck doesn't know what we did with his channel while he was away.
I don't. I'd like to welcome, as always.
I mean, it's season to like
Cash.
GP everything, so we sort of like toilet papered your channel.
Yeah.
Soon to be eating.
Yeah, we turned DJC's channel into a Halloween spirit store.
We did.
And a special guest, the original Next Level Gaming, Mike Mullis, as I talk over everyone.
What's going on?
Good to see all of you guys. Just so everyone knows, it's my fault that the show went on hiatus for a few weeks. At first, it was because I had something going on, and I had some family members that were not doing well, that I was kind of helping and taking care of, and that kind of ran into a couple weeks, and then some other stuff, and just some personal, just life gets in the way, and pretty much we're back. It was never going anywhere. It was just because I was busy.
So can I just say,
was the same way, you know.
I just need to say, as you know, the unofficial head of the Gamers United Guild, how dare you, sir?
You're right.
How dare you?
How
dare you take time off? How dare you?
Oh my God, there's so many. I don't know if I can get to everybody here. Like, there's so many people in friggin' chat. There's like over 70 right now. Tommy, what's going on? Sweet and Tender, what's going on? Claus, Nomi, what is happening? Just another viewer or Justy Views. Let's see. I gotta go down here. Spanky is in the house. I am trying to catch up. I am so sorry. Freddie H in the house. How you doing? Blitzkrieg in the house. Just a snowman with looks like Space Battle or what was that first arcade or just an old computer?
I have no idea.
Computer Space?
Computer Space. Thank you. You knew what I meant.
I got you.
Rat knows all.
Bombernay TV. What's happening? Going here. I think. Good Lord.
Freddie H. Greedy Ling.
Amico again.
Crass Productions.
Once more.
King Crab.
Evie Hasselhoff.
Hasselhoff in the house.
Bacon Ice Cream Productions just popped in. King Crab is here.
Luke's Awakening.
It's crustaceous tonight.
Yes, bacon ice cream. Oh my God, that sounds delicious right now. I've been on an ice cream kick. The Select Gaming. Did you already say that?
We cannot confirm or deny if this is a crustacean.
Next level.
Safe zone.
You know, I'm right here.
Yeah, I know. And you have an announcement today, sir. I know you did make an announcement on your show last night, but since this is Amico Forever, I had to invite you on.
You did.
StashNet is in the house.
Sister Stash.
Stash.
Panda Sub 2000 is in the house.
Brother Sub. Or is it Brother Panda?
And PJ Smith. Oh, dude.
PJ.
Panda crew.
And I saw
PJ.
Thomas. Brother Thomas is in the chat. Thomas Bryant's there.
Yep, Thomas Bryant's out there. Claus Nomi's in there.
Cameron Hayes, Dan Ruff, Digital Whacker. Good to see you.
Hey, Dan. What's up, Dan?
Sean Bernard. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up, guys. I'm trying. Blood and Teeth. What's happening? Good to see you.
I do like that
What
icon.
happens?
It reminds me of Boogie Boogie.
Crash Productions. Eric Gates in the house.
Hey, Eric.
Below Average Chris.
We'll talk about that.
Greedyling in the house. How you doing? Thanks for coming.
Johnny Ups. Johnny
Oh my
Ups
goodness.
Johnny.
It's literally
Johnny.
like non-ending here. We said Hasselhoff was in the house. Let's see. Yes, Johnny Ups. Oh my God, how is it going? Good to see everyone. Good to see everyone. It keeps jumping between 70 and 69, dudes. All right,
Chuck's back.
Party on, Chuck.
Yep, Chuck's back.
Chuck's back.
Well, what is happening, everyone?
Wayne.
Now that I can look away from chat for like 2 seconds. Yeah, so a lot of stuff happening. I mean, in the retro gaming and gaming world. I believe it was Rab and you guys, which know a lot more about Game Pass and some of that news that's going on. So I know we were going to talk about a little bit of that.
Did you
now
we could.
I mean, it is on the thumbnail. No, I know you guys were talking
Games.
about maybe, I guess there was something going on in new gaming. I don't even know what that crazy world is.
It's crazy what's going on over there, man. Microsoft
meta.
Microsoft pissed.
Yeah,
it's meta.
Such a bad joke, Rab.
I know.
I need more alcohol for that.
I do too. I have to live with it.
Hey, you can only be meta for $1,500.
Me that gets screenshot and live in.
Oh, what do you got? What do you got tonight? I brought with me a nice German sweet wine.
I got a multiple channel.
Oh my God! I need to get something to drink. I just realized I don't have anything to drink right now.
I have whiskey.
Hey,
showing
there
us
you
up.
go.
I got all these crazy characters behind me, but no alcohol. How are we supposed to do this show?
I don't know. I don't do this show.
Have some ghoul drool.
Oh, Luke's waking. He says I need to master the double
there's
jump
plenty of nights I work.
before I move on to Game Pass.
I have an advantage of not having to work tonight, so I don't have, and I'm not on call, so I can drink.
Go game, go in the house.
What's up? Go game, go.
Okay, I'm gonna talk amongst yourselves. I'll give you guys a topic. The next in television song. It's on our poll.
I'm feeling clamped.
Go.
What's the next? Is this the next song that Chuck is remixing? Because then
that's what I thought. Because I picked.
Then I don't want a new Amico song. Then I want something I'm familiar with. I want Snafu.
I picked Snafu
because I want to see where he goes with that.
I do too.
Oh, I thought he was just talking about which one we like the best or something like that. No, it's the next one he was going to try to remake. If so, I voted wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, this is
because I wouldn't have picked like a new Amico song. I would have picked something different.
3/4 of the chat voted wrong too. They always do. So
I'm going in this studio and I'm going to do some more classic television songs or Amico songs, and I'm doing some of my regular music as well, which will be on a separate channel. But I just wanted to we needed a poll.
Don't forget you're doing Evercade songs.
We needed a coffin. I mean, we needed a poll.
That's right. Are you doing Atari VCS stuff? Come on, man.
Oh,
get with it.
Well, I don't even have a VCS. I wouldn't know the first thing to do.
Honestly, Hasselhoff was like, "Wait, how do you not have a VCS?" I'm like, "Well, when it went down to $100, I'm having trouble justifying anything above $100 now."
Says the man who spent how much on his Optimus Prime?
Hey, I was totally worth it.
By the way, happy birthday,
right back,
brother
Spanky.
Sean. Sean Dell is in the house. Happy birthday, bro.
Yes, happy birthday, Sean.
Yeah, so we got about almost 60 votes in so far, but we got a long way to go. So, I put a few on here that were just basics like Snafu, auto racing, and golf. Like Snafu, obviously, that's great music right there. And there's a lot of other ones too. Always throw me out ideas. But yeah, I am going to be hitting the studio to do a few of these songs. But right now, it's between Snafu and a new Amico song.
Well, you can change. Mine to something else. Anything you want to pick, because I picked a new Amico song, thinking that we were picking our favorite song.
What we wanted to hear.
The others.
My favorite is anything but the old stuff.
Okay, there you go. See.
Oh, Luke says a cornhole song would be great.
Luke might change his name, but he'll never change.
I need to get eventually when the price goes down, I will get a VCS just to have it.
I keep waiting to find it for around like $250 again, but I haven't found it as low as that again. Maybe on Black Friday or something like that, it'll drop again.
What is this, a VCS?
Yeah.
I think they've probably sold out of most of their stock. I don't think they had
somebody. I think it was Luke that was saying they're not making any more after this.
No, I'm pretty sure it's been a limited run. I haven't seen much marketing. I haven't seen much from retailers. So I think it's been extremely, extremely limited.
Oh, dude, Thunder Castle.
Yeah,
that would be. Oh my god, the music on that's amazing too.
it's great. Yeah.
See, for a
as long
second,
as it's owned by
I thought you
Intellivision.
said Thundercats, and I'm like, sold.
Yes.
Thunder,
Right, so
thunder.
it
I
does
wish.
look like.
Oh, I hope I
it
didn't
does-
get striked for it. No, it
does
has to
look
be
like
stuff
you
that
can-
Intellivision owns because that's the only stuff that I'll have access to. As far as probably through Tommy. Yeah,
it
Thunder
does, by the
Castle would
way-
be cool. Snafu would be cool.
Looks like you can get an Atari VCS bundle, the Onyx bundle, still from the Atari site. It's still $400, but you can get it.
You can do a song called
Ugh.
Cat's Thunder and just put them together. So you start off with Cat's
Yeah.
Thunder, Cat's Thunder, Thunder, oh, and just go in a different direction. They can't take that from you.
Cats a thunder.
Features, hey, you know,
I mean, you
anything's
could
possible.
you could do something like that for Catfighter.
Copyright workarounds. That's what we're here for.
We're doing death metal and television songs. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I could, you know.
That would be,
This does
interesting.
not sound like.
Could
a
you
bad
imagine
plan.
like a double kick and just shredding guitars version of Snafu?
No.
Come on.
No.
You're like, no, not
How
at
is
all.
it?
Not at all.
Three of us are drinking, and he's the one with the good ideas.
He's drinking, or he's
Oh,
starting.
he's drinking
I
now.
got
There he
putting
goes.
my lime into my unfortunate. It's Bud Select because that's who my friend left these over here, and I got a 6-pack of them, and they're cold. But you do that. That's your hillbilly Corona. Is you take a regular beer, you put a lime in it, and it turns it into a Corona, and you're not paying for Corona.
Is that some form of Budweiser?
It's Bud Select, which is okay. I'm not a
Yeah.
big.
I can't even begin to do
That's
Budweiser.
Fuss the lime changes the flavor.
Into beer anyway. So when I do
Got my
beer,
limes.
it's usually like a higher end beer because it's usually like the only stuff I can tolerate. Because I can't. I don't know, something about it does not sit well on my palate. Like beer in general, on average, does not sit well.
I'm
with
the
me.
same way, except for Yingling. Yingling is the one beer that
I
really
haven't
like.
had Yingling yet. I was back east and I was driving so much that I was
Drink
afraid
it
to
all.
pick one up because because
Drink it all.
I'm out of state and they put Florida plates on like my rental car and I'm like, last thing I want to do in the Northeast is get pulled over having any alcohol in my system with plates from Florida. Let's just not go there.
They just expect you to have at least 4 drinks in you if you've got Florida plates.
And we love the state of Florida, by the way.
Do we?
Hey, if one of my subs is from there, I absolutely love it. I'm
doesn't.
sticking to it. No. Anyways, yeah, I got a big Halloween show coming up that I'm going to be filming some stuff at it's a little known more in the Midwest, I know right now, but it's Blake's Apple Orchard. They actually have a distillery and they do all their own ciders and beers and stuff like that. And they're really spreading out everywhere else as well. But it's based here in Michigan, quite north of me, up to the little, it's woods and trees and orchards. And, that much more and more north, excuse me, not in the city. But anyway, so I'm going to be doing some filming there and it should be really fun because they got these old animatronics that are just, all I can call them is silly. They are just absolutely silly looking and awesome and like so vintagely awesome. And they have this like haunted house with the same like silly animatronics. And we're going to go through there and we're going to have some fun filming that. As well as I'm going to be playing a lot of I'm going to do Intellivision Zombie Madness 2600 Atari 2600 Ghostbusters, which I've never played in my life and which is weird. And I'm also going to play Nightmare on Elm Street for NES, as well as throwing a few things in there. I may have some special guests on in there stuff, but I just put out an announcement about that, so I just thought I'd mention that.
You got a Master System, right?
I don't have a Master System, but I do have a 5.
Okay.
I got rid of my Master. Excuse me.
Master of Illusion's a good one.
Yeah, Johnny Up says, why no Dracula?
Oh, I don't have Dracula.
Kind of got a point.
That's one of the Magic titles I do not have, but I have the homebrew of Zombie Madness, so I figured that would make up for it. I have this zombie. He's listening to the podcast. He likes to. Everything all right? No, I don't want to get my fingers too close.
Please,
but
still waiting for Amico.
maybe a Night Stalker run again. I had fun doing that.
One of the founders.
I actually, what's real I've been getting into lately is and this is weird. It's because when you watch a couple videos on YouTube, then all of a sudden all of the types are recommended to you. So like I was looking at a video where a guy visited creative engineering or whatever, the people that did all the animatronics for Showbiz Pizza and Chuck E. Cheese. And it was like this whole warehouse and test stage where they program and where they build them and reskin them and do the mess and all this stuff on them. And I was like, this is interesting. And then I watched another video that had like a museum with everything from all these and and they were performing and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, like my whole YouTube feed is like the rotting animatronics gone wrong, the most scariest, terrifying animatronics. And it's showing these, like, they're all malfunctioning and freaking out. And I'm like, what the heck, dude? Now my whole feed is nothing but animatronics. But
that's the issue with the feed. I mean, they do not look at the historic data that's on your feed. They seem to look at they assume your attention span is like whatever you're interested in over the last half hour, whatever your last 3 searches are. They're just going to flood it with that, and everything else just sort of falls to the wayside.
Yeah, it's funny because a restaurant.
You don't have any other interests.
Yeah, I have no interest except for that second. There's a restaurant up here that's been around since like the 60s called Roger's Roost. That's kind of near me, and I've known the owners there for a bit, and they have like you go into this restaurant, it has like stuff all over, like old gas station pumps, old oil signs, and all this crazy stuff hanging. They got like vintage phones on the walls, like a fun house mirror. It's just one of those restaurants that's got everything. And up in their second level, like rafters, because they have like an attic and a double level. And then in the main restaurant, they have a full on like like an old school fire engine, like parked right in the front middle of the restaurant. But up in the top, among all these things, are 2 giant animatronics that are the creepiest, scariest, terrifying looking things I've ever seen. One of them is one of the pigs from Chuck E. Cheese that was like retired like back in the 70s. And it's like, its eyes are like open, just staring into the abyss. And then another one, I think, it's either a dog or a bear, and his eyes are like half closed, and he looks like he's looking down at the whole crowd, like eating. And when they turn the lights off at the end of the night, I used to have pictures of it. Now, maybe I might do this for the Halloween special, is I got pictures of them at night. I'm like, were those in the same position that they were the night before? And I'm like, are they moving at night? Are they coming to life? So yeah, it's
got a Five Nights at Freddy's thing going on, basically.
Yeah.
So we did have a question from, I want to say it's Luke Awakening. King Crab was asking me what Halloween candy I like the best. So Luke just posed that to the entire panel.
Well, you guys go ahead first. I'll tell you mine last.
I told him mine was probably the same ones that I generally like during the year, which is like Mounds and Baby Ruth. However, around Halloween, pepperoni, it's like all those.
Halloween pepperoni. I remember every year.
Sure, why not?
Halloween pepperoni.
I like a good beef
usually
stick.
brings out holiday themed shaped ones, and I think those are fun.
Oh yeah,
Megadan.
Not bad.
Yeah.
What's up, Megadan?
What about you, Mike?
I'm an Almond Joy guy.
Oh, that's a great guy.
Almond Joy.
Rab, what about you?
Figures.
Probably Milky Way or Three Musketeer as far as candy bars.
Three Musketeers, one of the tops. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I see. My kids are like so picky. So like my Halloween candy is like everything that they reject.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the best of the worst that they don't like? I like black licorice, so like Good and Plenty are good, but yeah. A little variety.
Now I love everything that you got. Like there's not anything I really ever hate when it comes to candy. I mean, I even like the slow pokes or the sugar daddies, the ones that are just like the hard caramel.
I wish they'd give my kids something like more with liqueurs. That would be good. That'd be a good Halloween candy.
Teeth breakers.
But the ones I remember, and it's hard to find these days. I think the original company that made them was Brock's. Or the people that make Mary Jane's. It's the black and orange twist candies, like that are twisted in the paper. That are plain black and orange. They have a peanut butter, like a nutty peanut butter in the center, and then taffy around the edges. Those are my absolute 100% favorite candies. My mom used to get them to pass out, as well as I used to get them, obviously in my treat baskets. And
your house was
that's my top. They're Mary Jane's, I think.
We got a
Mary Jane's.
We got a band, Bacon Ice Cream Productions. He said he's down for some Mounds and Crunch, which is fine. The candy corn Come on, man.
I don't mind candy corn.
When candy
Not a
corn
ton,
first
but
comes
just-
out, I make it through about a part of a bag of candy corn, really enjoying it, and then after a while, it's just too much.
You may as
and
well,
then I can't do it anymore. But every
circus
season, I'll usually eat a
peanuts.
little bit of candy corn and enjoy it.
Ew. It's like having those circus peanuts.
I used to not mind the circus peanuts. I don't eat them anymore, but like a long time ago, they were a little bit of a guilty pleasure. But candy corn, no. I liked when they did like the little like witches hats and pumpkins and stuff with the candy corn. It seemed like it was more and less
I thought those
waxy.
were a little too big. Like it was too much. Like the normal shaped candy corn's about the right amount per.
Like those pumpkin ones,
like
are
take
too
a
big.
bite of each and stuff, and they had like the different colors and different flavors. So some had like a chocolate mix, some had more like a green
yeah,
minty
I
mix
know
and
what
stuff.
you mean.
All the ones I got were just like the regular candy corn. They're just bigger, like the
Just
pumpkin
wax.
ones.
Absolutely.
And those are almost too big.
The pumpkins are too big. I agree with that. They're like giant gumball candy corns. So we had
We're already derailed onto candy, by the way.
The chat's flying around, so I'm sorry if I'm not getting. I'm literally not getting to everybody. Let's keep it real. Top 3 Halloween costumes. Well, my very first one that I remember that I was, I think, 4 years in a row was Spider-Man with the plastic mask and the plastic. And even as a kid, I always wondered. I'm like, well, Spider-Man doesn't have a picture of himself with the logo Spider-Man. I was like, why is this not a Spider-Man suit? Because it was like the 80s and it was the plastic. And because you literally would say the logo and stuff like that.
Wearing a tarp.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
You're wearing a plastic
on yourself.
tarp. And then my mom would always cut out the Spider-Man eyes bigger because they would always cut into my eyeballs or I couldn't see. She's like, that's so you can see. And they would just end up being, you just see like human eyes in the Spider-Man mask. But I have pictures of that like many a times. And then when I got older, it was Freddy Krueger. First I made my homemade glove with tinfoil and cardboard and paint, and it was terrible. But like I did that. I actually colored a sweater with a magic marker to make it striped. Like, mind you, I'm like, 12 or something like that, and then I don't know, after that it was top 3. I really didn't have a top 3. I think I was mostly either was Spider-Man through my childhood, and then it was just and then there was like I was in after that when I got into like horror movies as like a from 12 into teen. I loved anything gross. So if I would go out and find, a lot of times when they used to allow this, they don't anymore because they canceled it. But it was when you in school, you'd always have your Halloween party on Halloween if it was that day, and I'd be like, oh man, I get to go to my class and then everybody's doing their best costumes. I would go to the store and find the most disgusting, goriest mask I could find, and that would be my costume for most of my into that adolescent to teen years. Like it was just, I remember one time there was like a guy that had the face split and his skull was coming out, and I had that mask for years. It was like such a cool, and then eventually they deteriorate and fall apart. But yeah, Freddy Krueger, Spider-Man, and just gross monsters.
Nice.
Yeah. See, I remember as a kid, we did like a mask, like one of those cheap masks with the little flimsy string that like snapped and the mask cracked or broke. And like my mom was like, we're not doing that again. And then it was just like all sort of homemade ghouls and vampires and skeletons and stuff like that. So never went too inventive.
Face paint? Did you ever do face paint at all?
Yeah,
I did that
face paint every year.
Yeah, used to do that.
I think eventually you just learn. You're getting candy no matter what you dress up as. And even in my older years, I was like, throw on some face paint and a winter jacket and grab a pillowcase. Let's get candy.
Yeah. There were two that I remember. My mom was real big on buying us these really quick to assemble, easy costumes at one point. And do you guys remember one of the ones that would have like the inflatable critter on the top of it? Like it might be a spider or something like that. And it was part of like a hat thing you would wear. Yeah. And then you'd have like this plastic thing. I had a couple of those for a couple of years. And then one year I just got like a glow in the dark like Jason mask that didn't fit really well. And just threw on like a jacket and went trick-or-treating. Those are the only two I can really remember. My costumes were never really anything super memorable.
I do it now still with the kids because they, a lot of the parents are still putting on adult costumes so they can walk around with their kids, and that way the kids don't, they think it's cool that mom and dad are. It's not for
the kids. My favorites that come up to the house are like the little ones that can't
really
talk.
They just want more Comic-Con.
I can't eat as much candy as I used to, Rab. So I do it for them.
Mm-hmm. Good man.
Well, that's cool, man.
So
I was just offered to be a play a Santa Claus for like a decent amount of money, and I was like, I cannot be around that many screaming kids, and my knees suck, and having kids try to sit on your lap and puke and pee on you. I can't do that. I could not do that, but I literally was just offered that, and I thought it was funny. But I love them. I just don't want to deal with them. But anyways, Graphic God in the house.
Brother Jay in the house.
Hey, Graphic God.
Daddy Jay is in the house.
You want to be a ninja but get hit by a car. Atari Creep. What is going on?
What's
Good
up,
to see you,
Atari
Chris. Am I missing people coming in here? If I'm missing, please.
Kevin Alvarado popped in.
I saw Kevin. I said hi.
Did I get a comment about my Xbox Series Verizon over here? Series 5?
It does look like an X.
I know.
Actually.
The booze helps with the stress around the kids. I'm trying to think of speaking of thinking, that was a terrible transition. I want to look at the poll. So the poll was I am going to hit the
That was not a good transition.
It was terrible.
No, you don't get off on that one. No, that was
I'm
horrible.
really rusty right now. I'm really rusty. I haven't done this.
You are not allowed to
Oh,
take
yeah,
time
you
off.
should have seen me on like Retro Roots. I couldn't even begin to keep up with chat. It was awful.
Speaking of thinking, what do you guys think about these numbers?
Yes.
There you go.
Speaking of numbers and thinking.
Speaking of numbers.
Yeah, there you go. I should have turned it over to you. So we have a poll going. We got about 72 votes in, and that's only about 30 minutes in. Is that where we at? Are we 30? No, that's when I posted the poll. Whatever. So we have new in television songs. So I'm hitting the studio, either going to do some in television songs or maybe something Amico related. So I figured throw it in the poll. So right now we have Snafu, Auto Racing, Golf, which is a big hit right now, or a new Amico song. And so right now it's 47% new Amico song, 38% Snafu. I'm loving that Snafu. 10% Auto Racing, and a measly 6% for Golf.
I cannot hear the song for Golf in my head, so
I'm golfing. Yeah, hitting that ball, and then you go and pick it up and hit it again and put it in a hole.
Jeez, that's no.
So that's exactly how it's going to go. Actually,
that's 6%.
Oh no, we just lost the vote for it. But anyways, I want to turn it over to Mr. Mike Mullis from the original Next Level Gaming. And you made some I almost want to call it nonchalant announcement last night. And even I did not get a chance to catch it until the replay today and went, oh my God, like that's some decent news. And I'll let you take it away and announce here on Amico Forever, since it's very Amico related and
it's
surprising.
Well,
wait, we do Amico news on Amico Forever?
Right, yeah. So this is some Amico news.
We don't do that.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, well,
Halloween costumes part 2.
Exactly.
Let's go.
It's about the dressing up for the
So you guys, I mean, yes, it was a nonchalant announcement because we were
doing your regular show.
Doing my regular show. I mean, we mostly talked about Microsoft and Activision Blizzard and MetaQuest and the $1,500 new headset that's coming out that I don't know why.
Yeah, totally get that.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, new game.
I'm happy with my $400 unit. Thank you.
I pre-ordered.
It's 1,500, right?
It's 1,500,
but it's not due out until 2023.
It's like due out on October 25th.
Oh, this year.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
So that's the actual price. That's not just like that we might come down.
No. That's the actual price.
Yeah, it seems niche. A little.
VR was always a little niche, man. It stayed niche.
We say it's niche.
We'll get into that later because I think we're going to talk about that stuff like that maybe later.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had our chance to talk. We'll do that later.
All right. So, I had talked to television a while back. I mean, last year after we got done with Crayola. And said, when you guys are ready, they'd always talked about, at some point testing, having other tests and things done. I said, you ever need beta testers? I used to do this. I mean, I always point out that there's still my dev Xbox 360 that Microsoft never asked for back. So, it's what I do. I've done this before as a media person. Never thought anything of it. And so Intellivision came to me not long ago and said, Phil said, I told people that we were trying to get stability units, units out to a select few people, just some test units, just to have people other than us look at it, make sure it's good, make sure it's fun. We really like what you did with last year's Amico Fest coverage. How would you and Seth like to beta test an Amico? And I was like, yeah, cool. So I have a test unit that is en route to me. I should have it on Friday. Actually, it's funny because Seth is scout camping this weekend, so I haven't told him it's coming.
Oh,
so when he gets back from his camping trip this weekend, I'm gonna let him open the box and see what's inside.
Wow, man.
So what this is, and I'm just gonna lay this out for everybody so we can, just want to make sure it is 100% clear. Because I'm also media, I am under a non-disclosure agreement to beta test the system. I'm going to run it through its paces. Going to let them know how it works, how it looks from a consumer standpoint. They all know how it looks from an internal standpoint. Like they all know their internal testing, things like that. They need somebody outside to fire it up, download some stuff out of the store, make sure everything is good, and then get some input from Seth, get some input from Spencer, my 8-year-old, and because my, believe it or not, 18-year-old is also interested in playing this, they want to get an older kid's and a young adult's idea of it. They know how I feel about it, right? They know, we've played it. We played Astro Smash. We've played Flying Tigers and all that stuff. So they know how I feel about it. They want to see if after a year, Seth is still excited for it and if he likes it. And I'm going to test the technical pieces. So I did make that announcement yesterday. Just,
awesome.
Yeah. So what I will say is this: you won't see any coverage on NLG about it right now. That is not why I'm getting it. It's not coming to me for me to make videos and stuff like that. There may be a time after testing it and they're happy with the performance and they're happy with everything that the system does, that I may be able to start making some videos, doing some streams, showing it off. But that is not the purpose of getting it. It is strictly to test it, to run it through all its paces, make sure I don't uncover. That's what beta testers get paid all the time for this. It's to make sure that, and I'm not getting paid. So I'm just, let me make sure I foreclose that.
So you're not a shill then?
No, unfortunately. Oh, how do you get these awesome shirts that none of us can have?
I don't know. They just show up.
They just show up.
Now let me ask you a question, and I know people are probably going to ask. Did they give you any kind of like testing criteria, things that they want you to test?
That is coming.
That they can't test effectively in their environment or want tested outside of their closed environment, that kind of thing.
Yes. And there is a list of things. And again, I don't expect you to go into details on it. I was just, it was meant to get a generic answer. No, absolutely. So yes, there is and again, this is strictly for testing right now. There is a list of things that they want me to do to make sure that when it does go to production and get into everybody's hands and everybody else is using it, that I don't uncover something they couldn't see.
Yeah.
Same thing with Seth and Spencer. They want to make sure they don't play something and they go, this doesn't work right. And so they're not expecting that to happen, but that's what the testing piece is for.
Yeah. So so they've sent out a few testing units, and you're one of these testers that are doing this.
Correct. I'm on the first list of testers, mostly because I have a technical background. I mean, my career, I'm an IT guy, so I have a technical background. I'm a media guy. I've been, I was a game journalist for a decade. I kind of know what this is. I have experience with it, and I have 3 kids, and they want to get that entire experience. So they asked, I agreed. The other thing
go ahead.
Well, the other thing that I just want to say this. The other thing is, until such time as I'm allowed, I can answer no questions. I can't tell anybody anything. I'm simply testing it right now. So there's nothing else. There's nothing specific I can say at this point other than what I just said.
All right. So, and I kind of knew I knew about this because I heard this earlier. I watched the replay of your show and stuff, and so that was a surprise on that. So you're testing. So, and I do have some notes here. So if you see me reading, that's literally what I'm doing off my phone, and I can barely see. So like basically the testing of this is basically your reliability, making sure both the controllers, the system, everything works good, everything, putting it through its paces, making sure everything plays correctly. You're going to be playing games, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So playing games, downloading stuff from the store, firmware upgrades, things like that. Mm-hmm. All the things that are going to happen in somebody's house.
Right.
They want someone using it that's not in-house testing, that has been going through testing for a while, because there's only so much stuff that you can plan for, so much stuff that you look for, so much stuff that you're going to pick up with. They want someone to kind of, not to say idiot-proof it, but they want someone who's not thinking the same way as their testers have been thinking, as their engineers have been thinking. They want you to dink around and see. Well, I mean, it's a normal state of field testing that a product would go through. So
and I was gonna build on that too, Rob. Yeah. It's not uncommon for them to do a bunch of internal testing, say the thing is ready, and then send it out for people for QA.
And the thing that you never thought of, someone's like, well,
they do something weird with it and it breaks it. I see that all the time in like all sorts of games that get released as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll test it and test it and test it. They'll have QA people test it like crazy. They'll do a small beta test and they'll check it. And then within 2 weeks that it gets out, they're like level setting like half the characters on a new fighting game because people found ways to exploit moves that nobody thought of before, because now you have a larger sample size. Not that this is going to be maybe as large of a sample size, but it'll at least be different people thinking a different way, looking at it again to see what they find. So
and Mike is not their sole quality testing person.
No,
they've said, like you said, there's multiple people.
I'm not the only one.
This question here. So this question
I'm not the only one. I just happen to be one of them.
We don't know who the other people are. It's just, it went out to different. So so we don't know what's Gizmodo.
Yeah,
I know IGN.
It's Gizmodo is a it's
a small
site.
Blog.
Yeah,
they're like a.
I was thinking of the Gizmondo, the device.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's I think why it was like reminding me of that.
I don't know who else is getting it. As far as all I know,
I don't either.
They could be sending it to like press people. They could be sending to other YouTubers. They could be sending it to other random people.
Because these are the units
that are good at testing.
Could be sending it to investors and partners.
Done it before.
They could be sending it.
God only knows who they're sending it to. I have no clue.
Potential partners.
So these are the units that are basically going to be these are the final units. So it's like test these before we manufacture the full lot. So that's what these. The whole reason for getting these in final, trials, I guess you could call it, right?
This is a step forward, folks.
That's a big step forward. I mean, so if anything becomes of this, they could fix these issues, and then they're good to go on that as far as fixing these. And then you go into your phase 2, right?
Yeah.
Right. I would imagine so.
Yeah, I know some people that are like, where is this going out to reviewers? Where is this going out to like Justy Views had suggested like, why not send this out to
I
GameStop
wouldn't
with a
put this in front
kiosk?
of a reviewer.
You don't do. This isn't a pilot. This isn't a dry run. This is, last phase. Is there anything else we're not thinking of that we need to be aware of that we can make changes to before we send this into full production?
Right.
Now, I would like to make an announcement that maybe the panel here is not aware of. I too know in television and people there very well. And as of recently, I too have signed an NDA with the company.
Yours is a hell of a lot more official than mine.
Oh, it's 100% official. INTV NDA. What more official do you need?
Holy crap, man.
And as silly and funny as this is, I really
it's
have
on paper and everything.
And
does it have your signature on the inside,
although I'm not first like Mike is with his crazy testing,
it came in the envelope with Panda's Nintendo papers.
Yeah.
I want to let you know officially now that DJC Game Studios is receiving an Amico. And that will be it's not like coming tomorrow like Mike's or whatever that is, but it will be into the next phase of these. And I will be doing some testing, eventually some showing. Excellent. So what do you think of that?
Does that mean the campaign
shenanigans
to get DJC his Amico worked?
No, to be honest, everyone out there in YouTube land that literally put stuff like that out in the universe, thank you, because I have talked to Intellivision, and I have a good relationship with them, and the fact that I've been the number one shill, still never been paid $1, by the way. Love to see some of the money, but with that being said, just kidding about that. But
someone gets paid?
I cannot wait. Yeah, right. I cannot wait to play this, throw it through some testing, and eventually, when it's possible, to start showcasing and showing you guys this, especially on this show. I hope to get Phil and John and some people on the show as well when we get down to that, to where everything's looking good and everything. Hopefully by end of year, I'd like to have them on the show. Oh, and you have the mounds.
And the mounds.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, and sometimes you don't. But anyways, I really wanted to. I didn't want to throw it in your face, Mike. I just wanted to say it after you made that announcement.
Yeah, you did.
Awesome.
But think of it this way. Once again, me and you were first.
Yeah.
Just like at Crayola.
Just like the Astro Smash challenge.
Right.
All right,
I was just handed your turn for an announcement.
No, that's awesome, Chuck. And I mean that's as it should be. As it should be. No.
Thanks, guys. And
yes,
we're
I
all
would
going
be
to benefit
too.
from this. Yes.
Look, I would be too. If DJC didn't get one, I would be the first to be mad.
And these aren't these aren't Founder Edition systems that you guys are getting.
No,
these are test units.
Right. This is not. This
isn't like our Founder. Like we still paid for units to get. We'll be getting those when everybody else gets it. This is units for us to test and hopefully, I don't want to say beat the crap out of, but put them through their trials and make sure everything is up to par.
This is your early access clunker.
Well, no, these are supposed to be these are actual. They're manufactured units, but like I don't know what I really don't know all the details. And once again, I am under NDA, so I'm probably not going to be able to divulge that until after I've done all this. But guarantee you, after everything, I'm going to share as much as I possibly can with you guys and show you guys this. But with that being said, I wish I had a better beer, but cheers.
Salute.
And you know what I forgot to do is take the cap off. It always helps.
None for
anyways, I think people seem to be happy.
So thanks to Phil
they're
and John.
Happy, they're mad at me. And you know what? It's fine. It's okay.
I'm glad you guys are getting a unit. I honestly, if a couple people were going to get them, it probably should have been you two guys. Not anybody, quite honestly. Mike, because you've been a big proponent for it, and you have kids, so it's a great test for it.
And the experience.
Chuck for obvious reasons.
Chuck,
so,
yes. It's
Chuck gets the electric bill for keeping the light on. This is what
There
that
you go.
is.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
In lieu of the electric bill,
right.
you get a test unit.
You've been covering it as part of Amico forever. We've been covering it as part of all the other great, game news that we talk about over on NLG. It's not rocket science as to why. It's not rocket science. So
the hashtag Justice for Geeks is coming up.
They've already done a Justice for Rab. That popped up
Yeah,
earlier.
Justice for Rab.
Oh, they don't know.
No.
They don't want to send me. I didn't do testing, but I pissed off our testers to no end with my stupid questions of what about this and what about that. So I do not want to be their test person. I'll wait. I'll wait my turn. I'm good to hang out with you guys, and I'll hop on a train and bother Mullis like 5 times a week.
Well, I think we all are, since he's the first one. I'm gonna be like, "What you working on? Did you play something today?" He's gonna be like,
You're gonna be in my window.
That's assuming he can get Seth off of it. Seth's
Right.
probably gonna live on that thing when he's not doing homework.
Try the microphone.
Yeah.
Um,
So I will answer.
Liar's dice.
I will answer Luke's question. Luke has asked a couple of times. I'm a proponent of the system. It's not about bias and not bias. It's about making sure the damn thing works.
Yeah, you're not doing a review.
I'm not reviewing the system.
So I get the fun one. You get the full-on test one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And
you better
I
hope
think that's
mine
part of what's
works.
being missed here is this isn't ready. This isn't something they want to send out for review yet.
Yeah.
No.
Honestly, I don't think anyone.
That's not what this is for. I'm sure those copies of the consoles will go out at some point.
Yes.
So that those can be reviewed, and those will be done by people that aren't us.
Yeah. I don't
sure.
think anyone.
It's not right.
I don't think anyone's looking forward to what does Rab think about the Amico?
Yes.
Well,
I
let me tell
can't-
you the downsides.
People
Right.
asked.
This is not a biased group. We are
Right.
very much looking forward to this. We can tell you things we don't like about it. We can tell you things that we think are flaws with it, but I don't think that has a lot of credibility placed upon, where we are right now. So this is not a group of reviewers. This is a group of people who are on a show called Amico Forever.
Right.
Talking
I wouldn't
about the
send it to
system
me
and its place.
for a straight up unbiased review. I wouldn't do that.
There's 1,000 other YouTube channels that are much better positioned to do reviews on a product like this. And I think when a television goes into manufacturing and gets this out and wants people to go and place an order, that's when they need to get it out to people that can make a less biased review.
Well, and look, let's be honest. The last people that they want to have this thing fire up and not be stable and not and have problems
are the people that are looking up for a review from.
Are the people that have been the proponents. Trust me, they want me to have a good experience on it. They want me to have the experience that I had last year.
Now, just to kind of throw this, because I've seen a few things similar to this in here. If it was a project, they would tell them not to tell me. The whole reason for NDA is for.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just explain this, just because I just recently signed one. Is the main thing for the NDA is so we don't go, hey, check out such and such a game. I didn't know that was on here. And then they're like, no, you're not supposed to talk about that yet. It's not to talk about upcoming games and features and stuff like that haven't been announced, as well as stuff that's not made public and stuff like that. Now, and I want to say, you got to remember, there's also a board that they answer to, so it's not like I can just make up decisions on it's not saying that we can't show stuff, because when I am going to do that.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's more about just, stuff that we're has nothing to do with.
But when you are doing this testing, and if you come up and find something that doesn't work the way you think it's supposed to work, you're under a non-disclosure agreement. You're not going to be able to go and tell the audience, this didn't work in the store when I did that. That is not part of you receiving a test and going through this process and going through. You are, discovering anything that is not working as intended. You are writing reports back to Intellivision. You are on calls with their lead testers to go through what you thought of those processes and get your feedback. This is not a kind of a public you're not being set up for a public review. That is part of it as well. I mean, the process that you're doing now, I wouldn't expect you to come back and say, like, all right, I got to tell you, after playing this, it was amazing. You guys are not going to believe it. And television's not going to care if you say that. They are going to care if you're going to say, like, I went to the store and it was so janky, and, you know, they were pulling up other people's credit cards. They couldn't get this stuff together. You know, that is not going to be anything you're going to be under under authorization to say.
No, look, I've been through this before many times. I know this process. I know what I'm being asked to do, and I know what I am and am not allowed to say. So take it for whatever. Look, I look at it this way. Take it for whatever you want to take it as. I take it as a good step forward for a company that is struggling to get a system out that they believe in. And if I can help give them feedback that they can then go to production with, so that the people that are actually also interested in this thing, like me, can get, and then eventually, you know, I can get my wood grain founder, because ultimately I would like to have my wood grain founder at some point. I'm happy to do so. And so
you're an enthusiastic fan that is willing to do some grunt work. And right now, with their finances stretched, it's a good thing to have. I mean, let's be honest. This is, if I was putting out a product and there were people that were like, I'm so excited about this, I can't wait to get it, versus other people that were like, I'm going to tear this apart the first chance I get, and I'm looking for any flaws that might still exist, then I'm not sending it out to those people looking for flaws. I'm not sending it out to people that are like, I'm going to give you your honest review and tell people about it, because I'm not ready for that yet. I'm sending it out to you as the eager fan, and I'm sending you out a list of the 500 things I want you to do over the next 2 weeks to tell me, does it do all of this stuff? How many times did you do this? What was your experience on this? What was your experience on this? And we would walk through that process of, how was your experience on downloading a game from the store? How was your experience on discovery? And ask you questions about that, and try to identify what you were thinking at the time that you were doing those things, because I'm looking for user feedback from someone that would be using this. And that's why I think with Seth and Jacob using this, it makes sense for them to get some feedback from kids who are a primary part of their audience. If I was doing field testing, I would find families to put this in their hands. But right now, that might be a little bit difficult. There's not really a big bullpen of supporters out there to put this in the hands. There is you.
True.
So that makes sense.
And to kind of piggyback off that, I know a lot of people were asking, and even over the past few weeks going, are we going to see a picture of all these test units, or a pile of test units, or units come off the line? I don't think that's going to happen.
Yes.
I think
Slappy Marsden is photoshopping a million of these. For you guys.
Oh, we're going to play some of that later. We are definitely going to play some of that later, because I do have his most recent Slappy pictures. But I think what this is these pilot units are going out, and then they're going to be run through their rigorous testing. I'm going to have one of those units of how many they made. And that's the thing. This is testing. This isn't reviewing. So I know a lot of people are mad going, oh, why aren't you going to show this is complete testing? This is straight up NDA testing. And that's what it's going to be, making sure everything is fantastic. And then so they can go into actually produce a mass quantity of these. So that's what it is. So I think a lot of, there's a few, not a lot, but there's a few people thinking that this is reviewing and supposed to be shared. This is literally the pilot runs of these, what did they say, 20, 25 units that went out. And I'm still learning too. Trust me, I'm still learning. I'm still new and still green to this, but it is basically to test, not review. Now, once all the testing is good, everything looks A-okay, trust me, there will be some gameplay. There'll be some fantastic stuff that will be coming after that. It's not going to be all kept hush hush, but as far as the testing, yeah, this is a big step forward, 100% big.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I also?
And if you don't believe it, and I see Tommy saying that like more nonsense, that's fine, man. And God bless you, man. If you think that, then that's fine. And yeah, if you think we're going for a ride, then I guess I'm going for a ride, and I'll find out afterwards. But why wouldn't I want to go for that ride?
We'll all see where the ride goes.
What you're saying.
Yeah.
To answer, I mean, Luke had a good comment. Like, I would rather someone that is nitpicky than someone that is, super eager to get this so that I get good quality testing. Yes, and Mike and Chuck are not the only two people getting these test units. They are going out to more sources. With what they've built, they wanted to get those out to them, and I think that is a good.
Now,
Can I just address this one more time? And I'm not trying to be picking on someone.
Not reviewing,
right?
And I think people are conflating the two.
Yeah,
and
so
it's fine. It's okay.
Stop blindly trusting corporations. I would not be. I would be trusting myself because I would be the one personally doing it. That's the whole purpose of this, to get it away from the corporation. And by the way, they're not a corporation, but like they're getting it away from the company and have someone outside the company, a huge fan on both accounts. And I know Mike's done more than that and done this before, but it's someone that wants to see this good and wants to make sure everything's fantastic.
Yes.
I'm just saying that it's just that's all it is.
Yeah.
So I'm be trusting myself to make sure everything runs absolutely fantastic in the way it should.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, and the stuff we've played before has been nothing but great, But I'm knowing that these are going to be ones that are going to be mass produced. That's why they want to be double, triple tested and checked, and that's where we're at, man. This is good. I know some people are going to not like it, but that's where I'm at.
I'm gonna jump in and interrupt too, because I think a lot of what some of the people are asking about is like, I get what you're saying, I see that, but I don't want the wishy-washy happy review that Mike is going to give. I know he's going to come back and say it's perfect and say it's all good to go and it's all roses.
That's right. Even if it's broken.
Mike's review is less about what he thinks. They probably are assuming they're sending it to Mike. He's going to think, oh, this is amazing. Get this out. It's going to change the world, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you want to think of that. If they want good quality testing, they're not going to give it to people for free. They're going to pay for a company who does hardware testing to go through and go through lists of every conceivable way. They had quality assurance on their team who went through, they had testing, who spent 8 to 10 hours a day just going through. It is extremely boring. It is not mind-numbingly boring to go through and test software or to test hardware, because you have to do the same thing over and over and over again, multiple times. Then you change up one thing and go over and over and over again multiple times. It is a very monotonous, mind-numbing process. If they wanted that sort of quality testing, which I think they do, then they're going to pay some people to quality test those units. They're going to pay a professional third party to go and do that. The point of Mike and Chuck having one of these units to test, I think they don't want to pay to have 8 of these units or 12 of these units tested by quality assurance testing organizations. They have the ones going out to those organizations. They just want to get different feedback. In the case of Chuck, they know he's going to play the hell out of the game. He's been keeping the lights on, so send him out a test unit. It's probably returning a favor for keeping things going forever. In the case of Mike, he's worked with Xbox and got a test unit. He's been through this process before. He kind of knows what to expect. He talks with Microsoft executives. He talks with Phil on a pretty frequent basis. He talks with Tommy on a pretty frequent basis. He talks with John and others at Intellivision. So it makes sense for him to be able to say, like, kind of drop that veil and be able to talk with them about certain things that he found problematic. Just in his experience, he might be the biggest shill that you guys think, but he might have things that he wants to get right to make sure this system is perfect so that other people don't find it. He might be willing to go in and do the extra mile, which makes sense to then give it to Mike to test. I think just from a purely pragmatic, it makes sense. Go ahead.
It also lets him check other things like layout of the UI, operation of the UI, stuff like that a testing team wouldn't necessarily check. They're going to check the functionality, but they're not going to check the flow and how it feels to an average consumer, right? So that's another perspective and another reason to throw something like that out, because they designed it how they think it looks. But I don't think, to my knowledge, from any of the events that I've seen, not a lot of people have spent time messing around with the UI, downloading things from the store, checking out all those experiences for themselves. The games have been up and running.
Cornholing.
And they moved it from game to game, that kind of stuff. But nobody's really messed with it completely hands-on in that way outside of the main team. So that might be valuable input as well.
Yeah, and that being said, that's all it is. I know I'm going to get. We're probably both going to get a ton of hate for it, but also I hope a ton of support, man. I mean, this is just. I feel like we've supported this thing, and I think it'll be great to actually test and make sure everything's running smoothly over the next few weeks or month or whatever, and then after that, why don't you want to go on this ride and find out what happens? At this point in the story, speaking of the guy that's been hard at work, look at this guy.
Yeah.
John Alvarado in the house.
John.
How you doing, sir?
No.
Doing all the testing.
That's right.
And
Can
I
you
also
throw that
I
Flamingo
also
game we were talking about, wink, wink, on the
also
Amico
want to
game?
throw
I'm kidding.
out when Amico launches and you all get your Intellivision Amico units, if there is anything wrong with it that doesn't work to the pristine corners of your imagination of how it should have worked.
No, he's going where he's going with this.
That was Mullis. That was all Mullis.
Damn it.
He should have caught that. He should have told Intellivision, that their cultist shill who should have been on it didn't do his job right. So where the blame goes. Not Nick or myself. We are blameless. We are just here to entertain you guys and eat some stuff on camera and have some wine.
I just eat things on camera. That's all people
by
want
the
me
way,
here for.
By the way, we guaranteed you can't scan games in the test unit. You'll see. I guess I absolutely 100% will see.
We'll see.
Because I'm going to have
We're
one.
actually going to see.
And I'm going to try it.
Oh, my God.
Good Lord.
This is great. This is great.
And I'm not talking crap on anyone. I'm just ribbing you a little bit, just like you guys do me. Doing well. Glad to reach the point we can send these units out for external testing, and it's awesome, man. It really is.
Yeah.
We're very excited about this, and this is great. And then eventually get to share, after all this. That's the main thing, and God bless y'all, whether you hate me for this or hate us for this, or if you love us for us. But
hold on,
I'm sure we're gonna get all sorts of crap.
Hey,
you know what?
The show is called Amico Forever,
Chuck,
so we're gonna be here forever.
Chuck,
Yeah.
pinkies up.
I'll do this one.
Pinkies up on up here? I don't think you do that.
You absolutely can.
I couldn't do it. So I
to
put it on the other. I couldn't do the pinkies up.
Oh, apparently I'm required to eat more food. Says my wife.
Good.
No.
Was that good?
But
Screen
anyways.
capture?
The other thing too is I find it interesting. One of the questions I'm seeing is, why didn't Intellivision announce this? They did announce this. Has everybody read the email that Phil Adams sent out to the mailing list a month ago?
Yeah, literally talked about this. It just didn't name us.
Right. He said we're working. I mean,
yeah, I get what you
I
mean.
think I still have it. I'll pull it up. I mean, he literally said that this was going to happen.
Yeah,
he just didn't say when.
And the games
You
on
take them back off,
these. Yeah, I don't think it's
Sort of.
not going to put the game on. I think the game is already going to be on the unit. I don't see why they would send you a unit and have you scan to get games on there. I think it will probably have that functionality. That's probably not.
I think we are going to test that. I would hope. I mean, I would know.
Hope we would
know
test
this
that.
because
I mean,
like I said, I'm very green to this, but that's something I want to test is scanning those cards.
I will be perfectly
But I don't
honest.
know.
That is something that we need to be able to see. So
I agree.
in all seriousness, that is something we absolutely have to
test
see.
that.
So
well, then it may be something that they've left a game off, or they give you the instruction on how to delete a game and add a game. But it's
then maybe we will need to see that, Tommy.
Yeah,
that's I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying. Of course, that's the whole purpose of this, and that's why I'm excited about it.
Yeah, they are one of the. So this is what was said on August 30th. One of the primary goals for the small pilot run was to uncover any issues in the production pipeline before starting a larger production run. That's what they're doing. This is the pilot run.
I mean, you're talking about a small company that's really trying here at
Google.
Very minimal staff and everything. So
yeah,
100%.
Microsoft,
this is a good move that this is happening at all.
Microsoft did this with the Xbox Series.
Didn't they just kill Stadia?
Yes, they did.
I will not be putting it up on eBay.
No, not a
it'll
chance.
It'll be staying right here.
Look, Microsoft did this with the Xbox Series X, and a bunch of the Xbox fans that do content, that do nothing but Xbox content. They're the ones that put out videos. Oh, look what I got. Took pictures of it. Microsoft didn't make that announcement. Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they don't make announcements that they're sending out test units.
Yeah.
Phil at least said in August, we're working towards doing that. So now they're at this step. So they did announce it. It's coming now. And so look, nothing said at this moment is stopping FedEx from driving to my house. So either take it as good news, right? And take it as a positive step forward for those who are actually legitimately interested and legitimately wanting this, or hate away. I mean, NLG will continue to do what NLG does. I will continue to do what I do. I will cover this just like I cover the Xbox, the PlayStation, the Switch, the PC, the Atari VCS, as Chris covers the Evercade, as Peter covers the Amiga Mini and the C64 Mini, and we cover gaming. This is all part of my covering gaming. You guys take it for however you want to take it. I'm sorry, Nick. I know you hate when I do this. I don't care.
Don't say it, dude.
Yeah. He cares.
Just don't.
He cares.
Don't. Or at least phrase it better.
All right.
We've talked about this.
I care not. How's that? Is that any better?
That was
Can I Yoda it? All right. Can I Yoda it?
No, it's not better.
Look, when I talked about it yesterday on NLG, the people that are our audience were legitimately excited, because the people that are my audience are legitimate people who have pre-ordered, legitimate people who are interested, who grew up within television like me. And to them, this is interest because we cover gaming. So
can I piggyback? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
Can I save us?
And then Rab, go ahead after this. I just want to say the whole reason of this announcement. The whole reason of this announcement is because we're in this community. We're probably the last people standing in this community, with a few others sprinkled in.
Right.
There's a few other of our friends, but so the point of this announcement is to let you guys know that we have this connection and that it's moving forward, because you're not going to hear an official announcement until this, and we'll probably have Phil on the show eventually to talk to. But I'm talking about you're going to hear this after everything's tested and ran through after so much amount of time, which I don't know, because I'm not going to say, because I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But what if everything goes sweet and perfect, then we're ready to go, and then you'll be able to see it, you know what I'm saying, after that. But yeah, right now testing is testing, and I think that's a good thing. And it would be great, because I would not tell you guys, I don't want to not share and be like, oh, all this stuff's happening, but I don't know, that's stupid. And that's the whole reason I came out and said this. And
what would have been the reaction, Chuck, had we?
I know, like, this whole time
you guys testing have been doing it for weeks, and then come out and say, "Oh, guess what, guys? We've had our Amico test units for like 3 months." Come on, the reaction would have been absolutely bonkers. So it's
still going to be bonkers. Let's be fair.
Oh, absolutely.
Regardless of what's said, this is going to be bonkers.
If you do, damned if you don't. But again, I have
exactly.
Again,
yes,
I have an audience that is truly interested. Some of them are crossovers from here. I see a lot of good people in the chat. Let me make sure I am absolutely clear about that. There's a lot of good people in the chat tonight. And they come over to NLG.
Rab was saying something. So
sorry, Rab.
Go ahead, Mike. Finish your thought.
I was just saying, a lot of those people come over to NLG. They hang out. They talk games. They have a good time. So those are the people that what I'm doing is speaking to. It's just the unfortunate reality of You know, I knew, Chuck, when you asked me to be on,
Yeah.
Believe me, how long have I been here? This is nothing I'm reading in the
An
chat.
hour and 20 minutes.
Is honestly a surprise to me from certain people. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So
This,
go ahead, Rab.
You know, this whole release of this console has not gone according to plan. This whole release of this console has not
100%.
I'm sorry. I can't with that.
They had a way.
Yeah.
That's like
What
the
do you think is going
understatement of the
perfect? This was
millennia.
all planned.
This is all planned. All
has
planned.
not been a positive experience for the company, for fans. You know, a lot of people, I think, have had quite a lot of interest and enjoyment in seeing a lot of the missteps, a lot of the mishandling that's gone on, a lot of the mistakes that Intellivision's made, a lot of the forced errors. I think that when you get a mob of people coming after you, you're going to make a lot of forced errors regardless. You see that in every other aspect of social media. Pick your topic. You're going to see people that are responding negatively when you have a lot of negativity coming at you. I think it goes both ways. But I do want to say, there was one thing you had said earlier about the fans who are watching your show are legitimately interested. The fans who watch your show are legitimate. I think even the people who detest Intellivision, who want to see it crash and burn, who want to see people call today to cancel their pre-orders, get as many people as you can to cancel your pre-orders so that the company declares bankruptcy tomorrow. Even those people have a legitimate interest in what is happening with this console. They may not have the same interest as you or I, but I think they do have a legitimate interest. And I think, you know, Intellivision is coming to the point of releasing this console into the wild. They're coming to the point of putting it into production, getting it into the people who have pre-ordered, the people who have stood by them. And then after that, this wasn't their game plan. Their game plan was they wanted to sell something that could make a dent in the market, could reach 9-10 million over the course of 7, 8, 9 years. In order to reach that, they have to get to the broader audience. They have to show them what they have. And there's going to be a part of that audience that we may not find very much conducive to making that happen. We may think are, you know, against this product and want to do whatever they can to sink this product. That's their interest. That's their right to have those thoughts. They will get their chance to weigh this product in either a public setting or through their own orders as well. That's coming. You getting this product to test, Chuck getting this product to test, external quality testers getting this product to test, means they are ready for, they're almost ready for the next step. They are doing this now because they've had another year to go through and go back and try to replace parts that they couldn't get. You know, redo, right? They've had to go back and make changes to things that they thought were set up back in 2020, that they thought were set up in 2021. They've had to make a lot of pivots, make a lot of adjustments. And that means when you're making changes, you got to go back. You have new errors, you have new bugs in the system, you have new flaws that you have to resolve. So them being at this step means you're going to get this unit to test. If you get this unit to test and it has only a few flaws or it comes across as flawless, whatever your response is and whatever their, you know, whatever their actions are based on your responses, then it goes to the next step of going into manufacturing, going out to people who can actually test it, going out to reviewers who will get it, who are unbiased, who will say, you know what, I don't see the point of this thing. I don't see what the hubbub is about, or this is amazing. It could work in this circumstance, and be able to tell you that. That's when everybody else kind of will get their chance to say what they want unfiltered. Right now, I don't think Intellivision is there because they're not manufacturing it yet. They're trying to solve any last unforeseen issues that they haven't seen, and that's where it's at.
That's what this is.
So, guys, if I can say something here, I don't want to. Let's not discredit people in the chat, because I know a lot of people that have been hypercritical of this thing still have pre-orders. Some have requested refunds, some haven't. Some are just critical because they're pissed because they did put pre-order money in and they do want the unit. They just don't like how it's been handled. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Those people have as much stake as like I do, as like some of you guys do, because some of you guys have more money in it than that. But I had like 2 units pre-ordered, right? And I put that down forever ago. Yeah. Anybody that puts any money down on a unit has as much stake in this as I do, quite frankly. So let's not discredit any of that. Now, if you haven't done anything with the unit, you just want to see it burn, just to see something burn. I don't have a whole lot of empathy for that, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you've had some interest in it and you feel burned and you haven't gotten a refund, or you're still hanging on, if you're just pissed, I have all the empathy in the world for you. I get that.
Yeah.
I totally get that. I can't fix it, but I get it.
There are some legitimately good people in this chat, and those people, those are people that, absolutely, they want it to come out as much as we do. They're frustrated. I'm pretty sure I've watched shows where you guys have been equally frustrated. It's been, let's call it as it is. It's been 2 years.
I've often been frustrated at the situation and how chat's responding and how things are going with this whole thing. There's been a lot of reasons to be frustrated. I make no bones about it. I've been frustrated quite a lot. And I know I'm not alone with that on this panel or in chat.
No, you're alone.
Oh, okay.
You're all alone.
I'm okay with that. All right. Well, I'm okay. I'm okay being on an island. It's fine.
So our it's funny, our poll has ended. We had just over 100 some votes, and it looked up that Snafu and another Amico song
made the comeback. Snafu made the comeback.
I don't know. Right, so I got my Amico.
Quick question to the chat: is there an existing Amico song that you would like Chuck to cover, like Liar's Dice or Cornhole?
Good idea.
Is there something that you want to see his take on? Sesame Street ABC, the Sesame Street packs. Just throwing it out there.
Hey, I'll be probably playing some Sesame Street. I'll tell you that. I don't know.
He's going to get sued by the Children's Television Workshop. But
I'm glad you pulled that one.
John
up.
says,
I was going to tell you to put that one up.
It says the next video I want to do is showing the different ways to purchase and download games. Once again, I did see that in Boston. I've seen a game get purchased off the store, downloaded, and then we played it because it wasn't on the console that Tommy brought. So he went to the store and downloaded it because he had the access to it. So once again, that's going to be stuff we're going to see, and
transactions were transactions going to the credit card company to do that, or did they buy step that to be able to show us? We don't know. So you'll have.
It's not a Raspberry Pi. You can actually see them assembling a unit. You just pause it on their website or on the YouTube page.
Yeah, I was about to say they have that video up
fast
there.
Motion. Just pause it. You can see it.
They're literally assembling a unit by hand and a controller. As a matter of fact, you can watch both of those videos.
Yeah, there you go. Thomas saw that too.
If it is a Raspberry Pi, then the Intellivision will catch hell in the retro community as soon as it launches.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I promise you, one of the first things that anybody that randomly gets their hands on this thing is probably going to open it up. If they're smart, they'll look at the serial number on the board and then they'll cross-check it against whatever board they're using to verify things. I would.
So
don't make it easy on them, Nick. Make them look up a few steps.
Most people aren't going to put in that kind of work, quite frankly.
That being said, from the number one shill, I just want to say, which I've not made a single dime off anything. I am happy. This is a good step forward to have the fact that there's a couple people right here on this panel that are actually going to have a hands-on and be able to test this, and being fans of the original and being passionate about this. I think that's a good thing. I think over the next few weeks to months or what, I don't know. I don't want to give a date and say, oh, it's going to be till this and this and this. But I really think by this end of year that we're going to have I really hope to see all this ironed out and moving forward. And I think this is a really good step forward. I really do. And I hope people see that this is a good thing. And why wouldn't you want to know what finds out? What happens? Why don't you want to?
This was better than we were This is better than.
Yeah, would you rather be dead and not like this is good, man? I'm going to take the ride and I'm going to see what happens, and I am on board, man. And I want to thank Phil. I want to thank Tommy Tellerico. I want to thank John Alvarado. I want and for everyone making this dream actually happen. No matter how bad things got, because when it comes down to it, I'm a fan of the system. I'm a fan of the system I played a few times, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it and actually throw it through the trials and then see this come out for every single person that spent money on this, because that's what it's about.
And trust me, they know if there's something wrong with it, we're gonna tell them, because it doesn't behoove us to just go, oh yeah, it's a perfect system, everything about it is great. And
if something's wrong, I'm gonna tell them it's garbage and tell them what's for.
Exactly.
I mean, if you had me a unit and I found something was wrong with it, I'd be like, okay, this sucks. I kind of like this. I don't like the way this is laid out. This sucks. Can you fix this? And honestly, it's what you need to do. Anybody who gets their hands on one of these things, whoever it is,
this whole project,
they need to hand that back to them and tell them that, because it's the only way you get anything fixed.
If it's not a quality product that goes out, this whole project sinks. They don't have the name recognition. They're trying to get out in front of a new audience to say this is something, do something special. They need to show that it can do something special. And if it's not up to speed, then it's going to fail, and they'll fail. And they may try again. Someone else can try again or move in a different direction, but they have to be able to show that they have a working product that people can play as intended. And if it is not able to do those minimum standards, if it's not working, if your games are flawed, I know Tommy Amico had said earlier, like we should have like some minimum expectations of games that work. Yes, you should. And it's not just gamers who have the expectation of buying something that needs a bunch of patches because it's incomplete. This is supposed to go to a different audience that expects to be able to play and have something without any hassle. This is going to people who do not typically play video games. That is their target market audience. That is their reason for being, to reach out to that audience that for them, gaming is pulling out something on their phone and playing for a couple of seconds. And now you give them something that has an excuse that they can play with other people, and it's not just solitary on the phone. Give them that system, make it flawless. If it has a bunch of flaws, they're not interested. They're not interested in buying an Xbox. They're not interested in buying a PlayStation or a Switch right now. This is supposed to be the system that they might be interested in. So if they can't make that work, they don't have a sale. It needs
to land. It needs to boot up. You need to be able to load games on it quickly, and it doesn't need to have a ton of updates or other stuff like that going on. If it doesn't have those things going for it, the target market that I see them aiming for, that seems to be their main market, is just going to toss it to the side with every other game console that has to do that stuff.
Try something else.
It needs to be different in that way. It needs to be plug in, download things, play it seamlessly, not just like a plug-and-play Flash console, because most of those games are, quite frankly, a lot of those games for non-gamers, they wouldn't get into those anyway, because those games aren't the kind of thing. If they didn't get into it when they were younger, when those games were new, they're not going to get into it now, right?
Yes. This work. Yeah.
Right.
That being said, I do have to, we're a little over, and I do need to go, but I want to thank everyone in chat. Hey, whether you're super critical or just thanks for being nice, we're gonna find this out sooner than later at this point. So why not? Why not join us on the journey and find out exactly what's about to happen? I really hope you do, and I'm excited about this step forward, and I'm excited to get my hands on this, and I'm just very happy that this is moving forward, because it's the worst case was that we were all thinking everything was done. And it's not, and that's you got to take away that right now. And once again, it goes back to the people that have those founders that really want this system. So thanks to Geeks with Cash as always. Thanks to Retro Advisory Board and our special guest, the original Next Level Gaming, Mike Mullis, and one of the testers is from
always good to hang out with you
guys.
DJC
Game Studios.
Thanks to you, Chuck.
Thank you guys.
Dude,
I love you so much. Anyways, we'll see you next week, because if you read the name of the show, Amico, forever, it's never stopping. We'll see you soon.
Hold on, wait. Do that again, because the way the light came on, it was perfect Halloween.
I only do it once.
Perfect Halloween light.
I have to answer to these guys, and they're getting crazy. They're getting hungry. I gotta get some break.
Oh, dude, we're in it now, man. It's a mess.
Take care, everyone. Love you. Thank you for the support. Please hit subscribe.
Hey, guys.
Take care.
Hit something.